Coconut matumbo and spinach is a recipe that you'll be making every single time because the outcome is creamy, rich in coconut flavor and mouth-watering. So this is a perfect dish for you because it's loaded with lots of nutrients and very filling. To make this delicious recipe, you'll need half a kg of matumbo, and I have mine over here which are clean, ready for boiling. So to speed up the recipe, I'm going to be using a pressure cooker to boil my matumbo until it's nice and tender. So over high flame, I'm going to transfer my clean matumbo into my pot, and remember, when washing your matumbo, it's going to soak up lots of water. So I'm not going to be adding in more water to boil my matumbo. So I'm going to transfer into my pressure cooker, add in salt. Then I'm going to cover my pressure cooker by aligning the lid and the pot. Then twist, lock the pressure cooker, and then I'm going to be boiling for around 15 to 20 minutes or until the matumbo is nice and tender. Meanwhile, I'm going to be chopping up some fresh spinach for the recipe, and I have a bunch over here which I'm going to be using, and they're nice and clean. So I'm going to remove the stalks of the spinach, not entirely the whole stalk, but just a portion of the stalk. So you're going to tightly hold your spinach in a bunch, and using your knife, you're going to carefully cut the spinach into small pieces. Spinach is a leafy green vegetable that is high in vitamin A, K, C, and folic acid, and it has lots of iron and magnesium. Once done, I'm going to roughly chop up my spinach, transfer to my bowl, and clean up my working surface. Now that I've chopped up my spinach, I'm ready to cook my delicious meal, and I've already prepped up the rest of the ingredients, which is tomatoes, onions, garlic, and coriander. I'm going to be using very few spices because I want the coconut flavor to be on top there. After 20 minutes, I'm going to check on my matumbo, and I'm going to use a spatula to remove the excess pressure in the cooker before opening. Twist my lid and open the pressure cooker, and this is how my matumbo is looking, and it's so tender. So I'm going to keep my pressure cooker aside, place a pan over medium flame, and add in a tablespoon of cooking oil because my matumbo is a little bit fatty. Spread the oil in the pan, add in onions, saute until the onions have a nice golden brown color. Once the onions are nicely browned, I'm going to add in 3 cloves of crushed garlic. Stir in and cook for around 30 seconds until the garlic is very fragrant. When done cooking your garlic together with onions, you're going to add in 2 diced tomatoes. Then I'm going to stir in the tomatoes, add in some seasoning. For this recipe, I'm using beef seasoning cubes because I'm using beef tripe, which is so delicious. So I'm going to crush in the seasoning cubes. If you can't find the seasoning cubes, you can substitute with some salt, and the dish is going to be delicious. But I'm looking for that specific flavor that seasoning cubes add to your dish. So I'm going to stir in and let the tomatoes cook. This is a recipe for around 2 people, so you can double up the amount of ingredients and make for your entire family. I'm going to add in a splash of water so that my tomatoes can cook down. You can use the back of your spatula and mash down the tomatoes as they cook. Add back my matumbo. Boiling the matumbo with a little bit of salt has brought out all the nice flavors in the matumbo. So I'm going to stir in my matumbo and cook for around a minute as the tomatoes are cooking down. And at this point, you'll catch some very nice aroma in the kitchen. You'll even be tempted to try 1 or 2 pieces of matumbo because it's looking so good. Now that everything is ready, I'm going to add in my spinach. Stir in the spinach and cook for around a minute because you don't want to overcook your spinach. You want the spinach to maintain that nice green color. As the spinach is wilting down and absorbing in all those nice flavors. When your spinach is fully wilted down, you're going to add in some coconut cream. Stir in. When everything is ready, you're going to finish up with some coriander to add in some extra flavor. Stir in, put out the flames, and serve. I have some chapati over here which I made earlier on, and if you don't know how to make chapati, you can check up here or in the description box for the full recipe. Back to my pan, and my delicious coconut matumbo and spinach is looking so good. Carefully, I'm going to present to you my delicious dish. The idea of adding in coconut cream to your matumbo and spinach is just incredible because the outcome is delicious and mouth-watering. You can serve this dish over some ugali or chapati just like me, and it's going to be worth every single bite.